Welcome to Sports Bios, the podcast where we delve into the fascinating lives of athletic legends, and I'm your host, Howard Closewell. Today, we're going to explore the captivating story of Casey Stengel, a name synonymous with baseball genius, yet often shrouded in myth and misconception. As we embark on this biographical journey, get ready to discover the intricacies of a life that spanned nearly a century, leaving an indelible mark on America's favorite pastime. Born on July 30th, 1890 in Kansas City, Missouri, Charles Dillon Casey Stengel was the youngest of three children to Louis and Jenny Stengel, a family of modest means. The sounds of horse-drawn carriages and the smell of coal smoke wafting from the nearby rail yards filled the air as Casey took his first breath in a city that was rapidly expanding its reach. His father, a German immigrant with a thick accent and an unwavering work ethic, toiled as an insurance salesman, often traveling the countryside to peddle policies to rural farmers. Meanwhile, his mother managed the household with a firm but loving hand, instilling in Casey a strong sense of discipline and responsibility from a young age. His parents, though not affluent, valued education and encouraged their children to engage in lively debates about politics, literature, and sports. The Stengel home, located near the city's bustling downtown area, was often filled with the sounds of laughter and argument, as Casey's parents fostered an environment that prized intellectual curiosity and critical thinking. Growing up in the late 19th century, Casey developed a passion for sports, particularly baseball, which was becoming an increasingly popular pastime in the United States. He spent hours playing catch with his friends in the streets of Kansas City, honing his skills as a left-handed hitter and developing a keen understanding of the game's nuances. The crack of the bat, the smell of freshly cut grass, and the sound of cheering crowds all combined to captivate Casey's imagination, drawing him into a world that would become his life's passion. As a young boy, Casey was fascinated by the stories of his father's travels, regaled with tales of small-town America, where baseball was often the only entertainment in town. He'd sit for hours, listening intently as his father recounted the exploits of legendary players like Ty Cobb and Honus Wagner, their names etched in his memory like heroes from a bygone era. These early stories sparked a fire within Casey, fueling his ambition to one day join the ranks of these baseball immortals. Casey's early education took place at Kansas City's public schools, where he demonstrated a keen intellect and a penchant for mischief. His teachers remembered him as a bright, if somewhat unruly, student who often challenged authority and pushed the boundaries of acceptable behavior. This early rebellious streak would serve Casey well in his future endeavors, as he navigated the cutthroat world of professional baseball with a combination of wit, charm, and unyielding determination. As Casey entered his teenage years, he began to develop a sense of purpose, driven by a desire to escape the limitations of his family's circumstances. He worked odd jobs to support himself, including stints as a Western Union messenger boy and a stock clerk at a local department store. These early experiences taught Casey the value of hard work, resilience, and adaptability, essential qualities that would serve him well throughout his long and storied career. The Kansas City of Casey's youth was a city in transition, marked by rapid growth, cultural diversity, and a thriving arts scene. The city's famous jazz clubs, where legendary musicians like Charlie Parker and Count Basie got their start, were just a short walk from the Stengel family home. This vibrant cultural landscape had a profound impact on Casey's development, exposing him to a wide range of influences, musical, literary, and philosophical, that would shape his worldview and inform his approach to baseball. The seeds of his future success were sown in the fertile soil of Kansas City, where he developed a deep love of baseball, a strong work ethic, and an unshakable confidence that would serve him well throughout his remarkable journey. And it's here, in the humble beginnings of Casey Stengel's life, that we find the first hints of a legend in the making. A man who would go on to become one of the most beloved, respected, and enduring figures in American sports history. For Casey, the journey ahead would be marked by triumph and heartbreak, by moments of brilliance and periods of doubt. Yet, through it all, he would remain steadfast, driven by a passion for the game and an unwavering commitment to his own unique vision. In 1910, at the tender age of 19, he embarked on a journey that would take him to the pinnacle of baseball greatness, starting with the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1912. The subsequent years saw Stengel donning the uniforms of various teams, including the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Philadelphia Phillies, as he honed his craft as an outfielder and developed a reputation as a cunning and unpredictable player. One of the most memorable events from this period was Stengel's involvement in the infamous 1916 game between the Brooklyn Robins and the Boston Braves. With the score tied and the tension palpable, Stengel seized the moment, scoring the winning run after being hit by a pitch and then proceeding to steal home plate with a daring display of speed and agility. This electrifying play not only showcased Stengel's physical prowess, but also highlighted his fearless attitude on the base paths, a trait that would become a hallmark of his playing style. As he once quipped, "I'd rather be a go-getter than a go-slower," exemplifying his unwavering commitment to pushing the boundaries of what was possible. As Stengel's reputation grew, so did his opportunities. In 1934, he was appointed manager of the Brooklyn Dodgers, marking the beginning of a storied tenure that would span over a decade. During this period, Stengel would lead the Dodgers to several National League pennants and establish himself as one of the most successful managers in baseball history. His unorthodox tactics, which included employing an array of trick plays and exploiting the opposing team's weaknesses, earned him both accolades and criticism from his peers. One notable example of Stengel's innovative approach was his use of the platoon system, where he would alternate players based on their performance against specific pitchers. This strategy, though initially met with skepticism, proved to be highly effective in maximizing his team's scoring potential and minimizing their exposure to tough pitching matchups. As Stengel himself noted, "You can't hit and think at the same time," highlighting his emphasis on preparation and strategic planning. By constantly adapting and evolving his tactics, Stengel was able to stay one step ahead of his opponents and maintain a competitive edge. Throughout the 1930s and 1940s, Stengel continued to build a legacy as one of baseball's most beloved and respected figures. His relationships with contemporaries like Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, and Jackie Robinson were particularly significant, reflecting his ability to connect with players from diverse backgrounds and foster a sense of camaraderie within the clubhouse. As Robinson once recalled, "Casey was like a father to me," testifying to the deep affection and respect that many players held for their manager. Stengel's capacity to form lasting bonds with his players was rooted in his genuine interest in their well-being and his willingness to offer guidance and support both on and off the field. As Stengel's career progressed, he became increasingly known for his folksy wit and colorful personality, which endeared him to fans and sports writers alike. His post-game interviews, often filled with humorous anecdotes and clever one-liners, were eagerly anticipated by the press corps, who appreciated his willingness to speak candidly about the game. Whether discussing the intricacies of baseball strategy or simply spinning a yarn about life on the road, Stengel's conversational style was always engaging, informative, and entertaining. The 1940s also saw Stengel take on new challenges as he managed the Boston Braves and later the New York Yankees. With the Yankees, he would achieve unprecedented success, leading the team to 7 American League pennants and 5 World Series championships between 1949 and 1958. This remarkable run, which included a record 16 consecutive games won in the 1953 postseason, cemented Stengel's status as one of the greatest managers in baseball history. Stengel's accomplishments during this period were not limited to his on-field success. He was also an early advocate for racial integration in baseball, recognizing the immense talent and potential of African-American players like Robinson and Larry Doby. By providing opportunities for these pioneers to showcase their skills, Stengel played a significant role in breaking down the sport's color barrier and paving the way for future generations of minority players. Through his tireless work ethic, innovative tactics, and unwavering commitment to his teams, Casey Stengel left an indelible mark on the world of baseball. As his career continued to unfold, he would face new challenges, forge lasting relationships, and create unforgettable memories that would be cherished by fans and players alike for generations to come. As the years went by, Stengel's impact on the game only continued to grow, like a richly textured novel whose characters and plot twists become increasingly complex with each passing page. After retiring from managing in 1960, he remained an integral part of the sport, attending games with the frequency of a devout parishioner at Sunday Mass, sharing his wisdom with younger generations of players and coaches, like a sage imparting ancient secrets to eager apprentices. His presence was a reminder that, even in retirement, greatness never truly fades. It merely evolves, like a fine wine whose bouquet only deepens with age. As he stood before the gathered throng, his eyes twinkling like stars in a midnight sky, he must have felt a sense of pride and vindication, knowing that his life's work had left an indelible mark on the game he loved. And yet, even as he basked in the glow of accolades, Stengel remained humble, his spirit unbroken by the vicissitudes of fate, a true embodiment of the willow tree philosophy he would later espouse, bending but never breaking in the face of adversity. His eyes would light up like embers from a dying fire as he recounted tales of his playing days, of the triumphs and tribulations that had shaped him into the man he became. It was as if the very act of storytelling had become a form of catharsis for Stengel, a way of exorcising the demons of his past while inspiring future generations to follow in his footsteps. One of Stengel's most notable later endeavors was his work as a special instructor for the New York Mets, where he shared his expertise with young players and helped shape the team's early success. It was a role that allowed him to remain connected to the game he loved, to impart his wisdom and experience to those who would carry the torch of baseball into the future. As we look back on Stengel's life, we find a man who was both a product of his time and a visionary ahead of his time. He was a master strategist and motivator who inspired generations of players and fans alike, a true giant of the game whose influence can still be felt today. And yet, despite his many accomplishments, Stengel remained humble, his spirit unbroken by the trials and tribulations that had shaped him into the man he became. But what of the man behind the myth? What drove Stengel to achieve greatness, to leave an indelible mark on the world of baseball? The answer, much like the man himself, is complex, a rich tapestry woven from threads of determination, hard work, and a deep passion for the game. He was, in every sense of the word, a giant of the game, a man whose legacy will continue to inspire generations of players and fans alike for years to come. His story is a reminder that greatness is not solely the domain of the young or the talented, but can be achieved by anyone who possesses the courage, determination, and perseverance to pursue their dreams. That's all for today's Sports Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, I'm Howard Closewell reminding you to keep shooting for your goals.